What if time itself turned against us? What if the villain we thought defeated was only the beginning of a war across all realities? What if the very concept of tomorrow collapsed, and heroes were forced to face not just one enemy, but every version of one enemy, versions born of regret, triumph and failure, stepping through the cracks of time to conquer? Today we dive into the theory of Kang's destiny in Avengers Doomsday. We explore how this war isn't just about one battlefield or one timeline, it's about every timeline. Are you ready to follow the trail from the sparks of a multiversal revolt to the moment when everything we know stands on the brink of annihilation? Let's begin. The story opens in the silence between beats of existence, the calm before the storm. In a realm outside time's normal flow, a figure stirs. Nathaniel Richards' variant Conqueror, he who would be king of all, yet servant to none. He is known by many names, but we will call him Kang. Across epoch after epoch he has risen. Across timelines innumerable he has fallen, but always he returns. In one such reality, far removed from our own, Kang stands upon a throne of broken clocks and shattered hourglasses. Time is his empire, the multiverse his domain. He gazes out across infinite timelines and sees the same pattern. Civilizations growing complacent, heroes marching into illusions of safety, the world believing tomorrow belongs to them. He knows better. Tomorrow belongs to him. Our scene shifts to a familiar horizon. Earth, that great blue beacon spinning in the dark. The world thinks it is safe. Heroes patrol, governments rest, life continues. But beneath the surface, the multiverse hums with tremors. From those tremors spring fissures, cracks in reality, echoes of events not yet lived, alternate outcomes bleeding through. Something is coming. Enter the heroes. People we thought we knew, warriors once twisted by grief, redeemed by hope. They are drawn together, some by duty, some by guilt, some by the fear they cannot name. One among them senses the tremors, a hero attuned to the subtle songs of time. He sees the pattern, the repeated face of the conqueror, the recurring victory of Kang variants, the perpetual loop of war. That recognition launches inquiry. Why does Kang keep coming back? Why do his versions keep rising? What lesson does he seek to impart? And more importantly, what final move does he have left? Because if you have seen him conquer once, guess what? You're about to see something worse. Something final. Our heroes gather intel. They probe the anomalies, time streams bleeding, heroes fighting shadows of themselves, entire cities blinking out of existence in alternate timelines. What begins as isolated disturbances quickly becomes a pattern, a war across temporal boundaries. Kang variants with subtle differences working in concert, orchestrated by an unseen maestro. The logic: if you cannot stop a conqueror in one timeline, stop him in all of them. But such a strategy demands enormous power. It demands a singular mind behind the variants. And at the center of the storm, that singular mind is Kang. But this is not yet the climax. Our heroes are still reacting. They are still piecing together what the enemy intends. The conqueror reveals his hand bit by bit. A war zone appears in a reality where time stopped. Clocks frozen at midnight. Every soul trapped in looped seconds. In another, the sky cracks like glass and alternate versions of longtime allies appear. Disoriented and hostile, the conqueror's message is clear. Time is mine. I will choose which tomorrow survives. One hero, perhaps the one who first heard the tremors, stares at the image of a shattered timeline. He remembers a moment long ago when he failed to save someone, a choice he still regrets. He watches an alternate version where that person lives, where victory was won in that small moment, and he realizes Kang doesn't just conquer because he is ruthless. He conquers because he is relentless, because he rewrites outcomes, not just fights them. Meanwhile, Kang's variants continue their march. Across numerous realities, parallel cities fall. Resistance is crushed, futures erased. Each variant converges on a single target, Earth 616, our main reality. Here is where the final stand must happen. But our heroes do not yet know how to mirror that strategy. They know war. They know sacrifice. They know heartbreak. But they have never fought time itself. And when the conqueror strikes at time, you cannot just punch your way out. You must understand the mechanism. The scene shifts to a hidden sanctuary, a temporal lab, a relic of previous multiversal research. Inside, scientists and mystics examine a device, a singularity generator. a construct built to stabilize the flow of time. Our heroes walk in, tired, ragged. One says, if Kang could stop time there, maybe this machine can reverse it. Another counters, if we expose ourselves too soon, the variants will swarm. They debate not strategy but existence. If you alter time to win, do you become the thing you fought? And there Kang comes across a vantage where he watches, amused. He doesn't storm the lab with blasters and fists. He strolls in confident, he smiles, because tomorrow is already his. He says, you think you fight for Earth. I fight for every tomorrow that ever will be. And you stand in the way of my destiny. Our heroes bolt for cover. In that moment, the machine sparks. Time ripples. A hero flickers between versions of himself. A city outside dissolves into ash and then returns. Wrong, altered. The battlefield has shifted. Kang's variants converge in droves. Our heroes fight like hell. They hold the line. But holding a line against time is like holding breath in a vacuum. In this first act's crescendo, one hero scarred by loss makes a decision. They will step into a variant timeline to cut off the Conqueror's advance. The lab's machine activates. A portal opens. They leap. Others follow. Kang watches, nods. He whispers, show me your tomorrow. And with that, our tale moves from reaction to pursuit. Act 1 ends here with a shimmering portal. Heroes plunging into the unknown. Kang's grin lingering in the lab's mirrors of broken time. The war has begun in earnest, but the final battle is still ahead. Tomorrow hangs in balance. The portal flares like a heartbeat of the universe, pulsing brighter, pulling the heroes into a whirlwind of fractured timelines. They fall not through space, but through possibilities, shards of what could have been and what should never be. Each flash is a world rewritten by Kang's touch, an Earth ruled by iron machines, another lost to celestial hunger, another where heroes themselves became conquerors. The descent feels endless, each second stretched into a lifetime. When at last they land, they don't hit ground. They crash into history itself. They awaken in a world eerily familiar yet fundamentally wrong. The skyline bears echoes of New York, but its towers are laced with circuitry from another age. The sky bleeds with light from twin suns, and time runs unevenly. Moments repeat, then skip forward. People walk backward through a minute before resuming forward motion. This is not a single timeline. It's a collision of many, a Kang-made world where realities overlap. Here, Kang's power is absolute. Our heroes regroup, disoriented but unbroken. They realize they've stepped into Kang's proving ground, the Chronopolis, Prime, the core city of his empire, built from the skeletons of conquered timelines. Every street holds relics of victories past, shields of fallen captains, hammers of forgotten gods, and banners bearing the sigil of the Conqueror. Time here is both weapon and monument. As they navigate the fractured city, they encounter survivors, people from timelines long erased, refugees who remember nothing but conquest. They speak of the final protocol, a device said to allow Kang to rewrite every version of existence into one flawless empire, the Doomsday Equation. Each survivor fears its activation means the end of all free will. One whispers, when the Doomsday Equation completes, choice dies. The heroes now understand. Kang doesn't simply want dominion. He wants perfection. A single eternal timeline ruled by him, free of chaos and divergence. To him, multiversal war is not destruction, it's surgery. He's cutting away imperfection to leave only the clean, linear future where his vision reigns. Yet among these broken souls, one stands out, a defector, a variant of Kang himself. Unlike the others, his armor is damaged, his tone weary. He calls himself Victor Timely, a name from an age when he still believed in building rather than conquering. He explains that the multiversal council of Kangs fractured long ago. Some wanted to rule, others to preserve. The ones who sought peace were annihilated. He survived by hiding among timelines, biding his moment. I built the seed of the Doomsday Equation, he admits, but it was never meant to destroy. It was meant to merge, to heal the multiverse by binding time's wounds. Kang twisted it into a weapon. Distrust fills the air. Some heroes want to strike him down. Others, sensing sincerity, choose to listen. Timely warns them. The equation is nearly complete. Once it activates, all realities will collapse into one. Kang's the only way to stop it is to destroy the temporal core that powers Chronopolis Prime. But doing so will also erase every timeline that branches from it, including the lives of millions who only exist because of divergence. It's a devil's bargain. Save the multiverse by killing countless worlds, or let Kang reshape existence to preserve them, under his rule. The argument fractures the team. Ideals clash with pragmatism. One hero, driven by loss and the ghosts of a failed timeline, believes destruction is mercy. Another refuses to trade life for victory again. The group splinters into factions. Those who seek to end Kang by destroying the core, and those who want to steal the equation and rewrite destiny themselves. Kang has already won half the battle, for he knows the greatest weapon against heroes is not time, it's doubt. Meanwhile, in the heart of Chronopolis Prime, Kang monitors them with measured amusement. Through vast holographic arrays, he watches his adversaries quarrel, seeing in their discord the inevitability of his triumph. They always fight the wrong war, he muses. They fight each other while I fight time itself. He turns toward a massive construct, the Doomsday engine. It resembles an inverted pyramid of flowing energy, each level inscribed with runes from vanished civilizations, powered by the life force of entire universes. Above it hovers the chrono crystal, pulsing with every heartbeat across creation. As it glows, echoes ripple through the multiverse, storms in one reality, births and deaths in another. Kang places his hand upon it, and 1,000 versions of himself appear in reflection, all smiling in unison. Soon, they whisper. Soon we are one. Back in the fractured streets, the heroes' factions collide. Words turn to blows. Friend strikes friend, each believing they alone understand what must be done. In the chaos, Timely slips away with one hero, the same who first sensed the time tremors. Together, they descend into the underlevels of Chronopolis, a labyrinth where forgotten timelines intertwine. They pass through ancient battlefields frozen mid-moment, statues of heroes who never existed, echoes of futures denied. Timely explains, every timeline Kang erases becomes a foundation stone here. Chronopolis is built on loss. As they near the core, time begins to warp violently. Memories overlap. One hero glimpses a version of themselves who made a different choice, who found peace instead of pain. That glimpse nearly breaks them. Is that who I could have been? They whisper. Timely answers softly. That's who you still are, somewhere. For a moment, hope flickers. Above, Kang confronts the remaining heroes. He appears not as a raging tyrant, but as a serene god of logic. I do not hate you, he says. I pity your insistence on chaos. Every war, every tragedy, every mistake, you call it freedom. I call it waste. I will end waste. His armor shimmers with the light of 1,000 conquered timelines. In my empire, no child dies forgotten. No world collapses in vain. I will grant eternity. All I ask is obedience. One hero spits defiance. Eternity without choice is not life. Kang's reply is almost gentle. It is survival. The battle ignites. Blades clash with plasma. Magic collides with science. Kang bends time itself, dodging attacks seconds before they're made, striking opponents before they move. He freezes one hero mid-punch, rewinds another's death to inflict it again. For every blow they land, he has already seen the outcome. Yet for all his omniscience, there's a crack, tiny but real, in predicting every future. Kang has forgotten one truth: chaos breeds possibility. As the fight rages, the hero who journeyed with Timely reaches the core. It's not a machine of gears, but of memories pulsing, visions of everything that ever was. Timely begins to dismantle it, his hands trembling. Once I do this, he warns, Chronopolis collapses. Every branch dies. You, me, all of us. The hero hesitates. The thought of annihilating billions of potential lives feels unbearable. There must be another way, they plead. Timely's eyes glisten with old sorrow. There was. Until Kang. Outside, Kang feels the disturbance. There at the core, he growls. Time fractures around him as he teleports through the collapsing city. The remaining heroes give chase, knowing that whatever happens next will decide existence itself. As Kang reaches the core chamber, he finds Timely and the lone hero standing before the pulsing heart of time. Ah, Kang smiles. The prodigal son and the believer. He gestures toward the swirling light. Destroy it and you prove me right. You will choose order through destruction. Preserve it and you surrender to me willingly. Either way, I win. Timely steps forward. You never understood, did you? The Doomsday Equation was never about control. It was about balance. He activates the device, but instead of collapsing, the core splits open, revealing two paths of energy spiraling in opposite directions. Kang reels. What have you done? Timely answers, given them a choice. In that instant, all time freezes. Every hero, every variant, every soul across the multiverse feels the same moment, a suspended heartbeat in which fate trembles. Each can choose merge with Kang's perfect order, or embrace the chaos of free will and risk annihilation. The light engulfs everything. And that's where part 2 ends, on the precipice of decision, as time itself waits to see whether the universe will kneel to a conqueror or rise to chaos.